Okay, let's see how much trouble we can get into now. I still don't trust this woman. Something's up with her. Sorry I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now you're here, though. I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with some food, or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? Okay, I was like, where's the music coming from? I can treat the frostbite in the rooms, but it'll take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of. I'm gonna say, we'll call him Emmanuel. Eames tinctures. The ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Will you make sure everyone gets one? The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it'll return with a vengeance. I almost feel like this is a rub. Warming tincture? Never heard such a thing. No harm in trying. Tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that might seem absurd. That seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. A few buildings still standing offer no more than mere protection from the wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magic tech that sustains us has come to a grinding halt. What machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of cerulean. Of course, cerulean is full of the stuff for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extracting or refining. All is well. Yes, never better. So you say. You are still freezing. Here, have some. What sweet libation is this? Is it poisoned by any chance? Wow. It was a joke, a joke. If I laugh, 'tis that I may not weep. So said the poet. And alas, my tears would freeze on my cheeks ere they fell. We are blessed, damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar, then the morning came, Archibald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions and screams, was our beloved capital razed to the grave. From the rubble rose and shoveled remnants, their lavish refinery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. I hope for a few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their pains. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait for my fellow cowards, tincture? May as well drink it, I suppose. This is a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it. We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus Ammonius. It is Ammonius. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at broadcasting station used to be the flitter ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locals Amadeus. We have founded an empire in these frozen ways, but we always hope to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, that Emperor Varus yet lives, that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy, faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself that he may one day make his triumphant return. Oh, sounds like bait. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Oh, so you think. What's that? So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus was it Virgilia? Troops heading towards the Magna Glacius a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? I believe so, yes. Camp Broken Glass, you call it, and Virgila and her men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magna Glacius? Glacius? Did you cross the mountain on foot? She's asking a lot of questions and I'm kind of bothered. Airships. Then there might be a way to Lucinia. Where is everyone? Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. No, they are not. Perhaps maybe a Massly has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people too. I have an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you've a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head over to the other side of the lake. A small group of tappers live there. People whose job was to extract cerulean. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and there's something we don't, and that's something we don't have and can get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to pass through all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough cerulean to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. Ah, yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll need to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. I don't know, there's something about her. There's something I don't like. there? How did you find us? There's a young woman who sent us your way. What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes thought they could come waltzing in here, demanding cerulean, with nothing to offer in return. Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. Now the capital's gone to shite. So they're resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game. Sell words. If they think they will give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. There you are. Just after you left, Lucinia asked me to go and catch up with you, in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. I feel like they're gonna run for it. I feel like Alphina's gonna show up right after this. Who are you? What happened to the guards? They didn't take kindly with me showing up. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garland. You were brought here from other lands. Garabania, Yanchia, Bosha, Damaska, to name a few. Some dragged here against our wills, other fed bullocks about better life, all put to work constructing school. All given the esteemed title of Ad, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in New Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia Inkins. Still sustaining us, even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up cerulean from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if cerulean is used for much these days. What with the city in ruins, we take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got cerulean by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we manage to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire and the knowledge of skills we acquired working here are practically useless outside Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. As long as there's a need for cerulean, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we know it, is gone for good. for good. What are you surmising? Regardless of what the Ilsabar contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life would have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is co-signed to history. But what of the ordinary people? Their lives, their stories should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some screws. So you've come seeing ruling, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's Spoil sent you? To turn their enemies for help, they must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Lucinda's got her little sister to think about. I thought so. A sister. We only saw Lucinda and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. She would need treatment, and I doubt there be anywhere to get it around here. I may have to refuse Lucinda at first, thinking she'd come back with something exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of food. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way here. I can't for the life of me think why Lucinda would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that after we've delivered this early. Come on, let's get back. isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphina would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Oh boy. No, they completely left. I guarantee it. They probably knocked Alphino out or drugged him. Oh, I think she attacked. They asked me. They asked me to carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Yeah, I figured. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. You can't fool us. We know. We know what you're about. What? Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting for the wings. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, and then you swoop in. Jeez. Here to help? What rot? What all a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in. Put ourselves at your mercy. Put us in chains. Steal our lands. Get your revenge. Oh, jeez. It's like Stormcloud all over again. In the normal direction. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the argument for later. We got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true, Lucinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. I'm trying to help them, idiot. Her sister's ill. Empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry, or to avoid the clinking sound of glass. There are these everywhere. How can you let them put it on? To protect them from you. You invaded our homeland, tainted with the same source we used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Lucinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I need to tend to my energies and theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Size. This is definitely them. alien systems across the ice. We could really do without Flo's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. A lot of space. Okay, the rain does not help right now. It really doesn't.
blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand, so I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
There must have been something we could have done, but what? We should never come here. Would they... Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? We've already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to care for them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. There was an eighth right there, right? Right? Yes, there was. Okay, cool. Just like, Alphinaud tell me they've finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrained from saying much more than that. Clearly they're reluctant to provide details. May I ask you for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments, and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's Third Legion clashed with the First, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events of the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Zenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varys giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varys spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a temple knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Jullus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the two of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face, how their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Children ready? Wow. I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it as an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. We have our full cooperation. Literally around the corner. What the heck? Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We will head over that hill, then follow the road to reach Liminal Station 4. Children, lead the way. I want you where I can see you. We do have names now. I'm Alize, he's Alpha, and last but not least, there's Sapphire. Sapphire, where have I heard that before? About there being any danger, so you're to First stop, that is. We could have taken them up here. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? Of course not, Elphanat. No, we're just stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. North of the station is Regia Domorum, one of many residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understood? From here, we'll head northeast, keep to the left of the rail. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons ready. Didn't he just say okay? They would attack their own countrymen? Aye, they spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we will try to avoid detection, chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I'll lead the way, but in the event we're seen, you're to fight them off. Okay. Well, at least he's letting us now draw our weapons. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take the chance. That said, let us proceed. Contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people will need to be taken into custody, that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, there are no longer our people. Wow, they're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. and claim that they can be cured. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen those exposed to a vast quantity of primal's aether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you've seen these monstrosities for yourselves, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. There. You've kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine this way. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I'll be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Helping the wounded. Seems like we're in the train ride. It's plain to see why they chose this as the base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, if Julius was willing to make a perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They must be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord. And peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop! Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed.
Well, he at least knows who we are.
Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for? You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.